So we have Grounded from Obsidian Entertainment releasing into Xbox Game Preview and Early Access on Steam today. You can actually play this through Xbox Game Pass, I believe on both Xbox and PC. Now, Xbox Game Preview, there's been a lot of confusion as to what's going on with the release of this game. Game Preview, Early Access, it is not the full game. Do not go into Grounded right now expecting a finished product. I've seen a lot of confusion about that online, people going into the game and being like, where is the story? There's nothing to do. And that's exactly what Game Preview is, because this is being worked on by a team from Obsidian, who are of course working on the Outer Worlds, Peril on Gorgon, and the new RPG they showed at the game showcase, Avowed. This is being worked on by 15 people, just 15 people from Obsidian. So what is Grounded? It is basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You play as a shrunk down teenager exploring a backyard, trying to figure out why you're there, who put you there, and just the mysterious going-ons of the yard. Now, like I said before, this is an unfinished product being in Game Preview. There's going to be bugs. There is a story quest that you start doing, and it ends about an hour or so into it. It's more like a glorified tutorial. You have a few missions where it's eat, learn how to eat, food, learn how to drink, learn how to collect resources, learn how to build stuff, armor, weapons, structures, and so on. It basically just teaches you the basics of the game, and right as you think the story will kick off, a little pop-up comes up saying that, hey, the game is a work in progress, more will be added with updates in the future. So there's very little story content in Grounded right now. So that's something a lot of people should know before jumping into this. But after you get to that point, it just more turns into a sandbox where you go out to explore, craft, get resources, and fight bugs. Now, I plan to jump on to Grounded this morning and play for a couple of hours just so I could give some impressions tonight, and I ended up actually playing for around 4 or 5 hours. I actually really got stuck into it. I found that the foundation of this game is just really fun, and it is just a foundation at the moment. There's not a whole lot going on in Grounded. There are landmarks that you can find when you explore, but there's really not anything incredibly interesting about them just yet. You might stumble across a soda can in the backyard, a juice box, and they might give you something like a little bit of a drink from things, but there's nothing really else going on. So it is really just a foundation there that is right there to be built upon. But that being said, the foundation, I think, is very, very strong. I've said previously though, but games like Minecraft, where you go out, you resource gather, and then you build up your own whatever, they've never really interested me that much. But that being said, Grounded has just sort of grabbed me and sucked me in. I did not plan on playing for 5 hours today, and I ended up sitting there for a long time, just completely immersed and having fun. It's a beautiful looking game for being on Game Preview. I've had surprisingly no bugs at all, except for the ones that I'm fighting against. I have seen other people post online about running into bugs here and there. Personally, I haven't ran into anything bad. The survival elements to it, like eating and drinking and making sure you have a shelter, are fine. They're a little bit twitchy here and there. Drinking water maybe takes down your hunger meter way too much, stuff like that. But there are a lot of cool things about it. There is co-op available from the get-go, up to 4 players. The yard does seem kind of small at the moment, but again, this is Game Preview, it is unfinished, but there does seem to be more on the map when you look at it, areas that will be built upon. And there is no fast travel between locations as of yet. I don't know if that's going to be added later on, but there didn't seem to be any fast travel options. I will say this, there are some things in this game that are just worthy of pointing out right away, and one of the very first things of that is giant spiders, or technically regular sized spiders because you're the one that's small. The spiders in this game are terrifying. I live in Australia, I am not scared of spiders. Spiders are everywhere here. The spiders in Grounded, when I came across them for the first time, made me pause the game because I got a fright from them. The way they move, the way their eyes just sort of lock onto you and are glowing red, their twitchy movements. There's something about these spiders in Grounded that just scares me on some primal level. They did a very good job in doing these spiders, and it's a good thing that there is an arachnophobia mode, which you can slide up or down to make the spiders seem less spider-like, which I think is a great option. And something else that I thought was great, and it makes sense, but when you have like little waypoints and markers, and in other games it's always like, oh, you're 100 meters from your objective, you know, you're 200 meters from your objective, and it makes sense for this, and I don't even think it's that worthy of calling out, but it was just something that made me laugh. But instead of meters, it's actually centimeters here in Grounded, because you are tiny. And so it is funny to see that you are 70 centimeters away from your objective, and yet it still takes you that time to travel that distance, when it's just only 70 centimeters. I just thought that was really fun, and just worthy of mentioning. So overall, Grounded, as it stands right now, is very, very simple. There is a very solid foundation here, but being in game preview, there's not a whole lot going on. So if you do want to give Grounded a go, I would definitely do it through Xbox Game Pass, where you don't have to pay anything other than your regular subscription. There is an option to buy the game preview version of this game, which I believe runs for about $30 Australian. I'm not sure what it is US. But for the moment, for what's in the game, and without knowing how regular the game is going to be updated just yet, if you want my advice, if you want to try it out, I would go for it through Game Pass, however.